I have to tell a funny story. A gentleman came in and said, "Can I just sit here? I lost my wife recently and I'm very depressed." They found out that he liked to fish. So they walked down to the bayou, and next thing I know, the next day they all coming in with fishing poles and they're going down to fish. So I said, "That's fine. That's an activity." They didn't catch any fish, but they had a good time.
In St. Mary Parish, we've got seniors who depend on more than just a hot meal. They depend on connection, on someone showing up. And for decades, the St. Mary Council on Aging has been doing just that. It's National Senior Center Month, and they are looking for more people to step in, whether that's volunteering, driving, or serving on the board. I sat down with the executive director who talked about where things stand and what the community can do to help. Almost 91 years young.
That's right.
Still leading the Council on Aging across St. Mary Parish. What drives you to keep doing this work every single day?
The need, and I think of everybody as my family, because I have a small family and they're mostly in Texas, and it keeps me young, keeps me going, and gives me a purpose in life, okay?
So September is National Senior Center Month.
Right.
And for people who may not know, why are senior centers so important? Now, obviously, not just for meals, but for connections and dignity. And I can tell you from someone who actually has been there to volunteer, and they've come to the Touch Theater. It is so rewarding.
Yes, it is. It gets people out of their homes because they're depressed and they miss the socialization, and they form friendships. They learn. We have educational speakers. We do arts and crafts. We play games, and mostly we just have a good time. And like they come to the Test Theater once a month. We go to Bayou Bend for an educational seminar that gets them out. And we try to include them in all community activities. Like when we have Bayou Domain, they help me with my booth and they sell the things that they've made. And that way they can do some more crafts. But the main thing is they've got a family. And when one's down, they work at getting them back up where they're happy. And if one needs something, it's like they're a family. And each one of my centers is totally different, okay? Morgan City one, man, they rock that building all the time, okay? The Patterson one are the more conservative ones. They like the education and they like the socialization. And now the Franklin one, I never know what's going to happen. I go down there and there's an empty building. Where are they? Well, they walk to the bayou. Okay, that's good. That's good exercise, okay? And I have to tell a funny story. A gentleman came in and said, "Can I just sit here? I lost my wife recently and I'm very depressed." They found out that he liked to fish. So they walked down to the bayou, and next thing I know, the next day they're all coming in with fishing poles and they're going down to fish. So I said, "That's fine. That's an activity." They didn't catch any fish, but they had a good time.
I love it. And it sounds like each of them have their own personality.
They do.
So which means if you're out here, you're watching, you're listening, there is something you can offer. You don't have to be a professional. You can be just someone who's a retiree.
Right.
Maybe you're even a young person, this young generation.
Right.
Come on out. You guys are there. What are the hours?
9 to 1, Monday through Friday. And you have to fill out a little assessment sheet. But once you do that, then you can go to any of the 3 centers. If you look at their activity board and they're having something that you would like to do, you can go to any of them. And we do have, like, it's Senior Center Month. Everybody has something going on. And on the 23rd, all 3 sites are going to come together at the Franklin site, and we're going to have a luau. So that gets all of St. Mary under one roof, and they have the best time because they get to see old friends that they don't see because they don't drive anymore. So we try, and now like we're having a coloring contest, okay, for Halloween. And everybody has to color, and then each site picks a winner. And they're going to bring the winners to the festivity, the luau on the 23rd, and we're going to have pick a big winner. And then next year, next month, we're going to have it in Morgan City, and they have to have Thanksgiving, and then no, Patterson is, and then we go to Morgan City the next month, and they have to have a Christmas. So we like to have a little, I guess, fun and games between, because they always like to say, well, our site's better than your site.
They're quite competitive.
Oh, yes, very competitive.
Now, you've been open about the urgent need for drivers. Now, drivers aren't just driving.
No.
They provide more than just transportation of meals.
Okay. They have to go into the home. Okay. And sometimes we're the only face that those people see. Okay. So we like for them to spend a little time, maybe help them with the meal because they have trouble getting the milk or the utensils, and everything. And they also can tell us if they see something that they think like they're severely depressed. Well, then we can see about getting some help for them, okay? Or else they need something, and usually I can go out and, like one gentleman, he said he needed a shower chair. I said, well, you'll have one tomorrow. So we had some at the thrift store, and we took him one out, and he was so proud of that. The thing is, Danica, family has changed. And we were all raised, my generation was raised where family really counted, and we were together. And I don't see that anymore. So now that's why the seniors are sticking together, because they remember the good old days and how we used to take care of our neighbors, and we used to worry about our elders. And that's one thing, like Senior Center Month, I'm really pushing for the younger people to come in and see what we do for the seniors, and then maybe they will think about, before they put mama in the nursing home, hey, if she could ride the van down there and spend the day, and then we'll be with her in the evening, and keep the family together. I'm a great person about family, because I think family should go back to being what it was when I was raised, okay?
Yeah, I love that. And we've talked about this endlessly about the big mamas and, the granddaddies, and we don't really see that as much anymore.
No.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about your annual membership drive for board members. Okay. Can you explain why being a board member what it involves, and why the community participating, why it matters?
Well, because we like to have a mixture on our board, so we get the different people involved. They have different needs. They help me plan my activities, and of course they're the watchdogs of the money that we have, because they make up the finance with the budget, and they make sure that we have enough money to operate. But it is we like to have the involvement of the community, people that are out and about, and most of my board right now, they're not 60, okay? But they're out there, they're doing things, they're talking about the senior center, and the people just love it when they visit, and they only have to have meetings quarterly, so it isn't, and usually they last the meeting lasts an hour, but we're usually here 2 because everybody starts talking, but it's having the community involved, and different areas speaking up for the seniors, because we can't reach, there's some of the areas that we can't reach right now because of, staffing mostly, okay? And while we're on that subject, okay, yes, you only work 3 hours a day, and yes, you drive your own car, but I do pay you a good mileage, state approved mileage. But think about it this way. What if that was your grandmother, was having to live by herself, and was waiting for that meal, and just needed somebody to say hi and hope you have a nice day and give you a smile, okay? We have a lot of people, most of our people are living alone. They're under poverty level. They can't go anywhere because they can't drive anymore. Most of them are losing their eyesight or hearing or other health issues. It just, when I deliver the meals, I come away feeling like I did something good. And it came from the heart, okay? It breaks my heart because some of them live in a way that I wouldn't like them. I don't want them to live. But that's another goal, as you know, that I've had for 20 years is to find some housing for seniors that be protected and that will have an ongoing socialization, not just coming to the center. It would be there all the time. And we're still working on that.
Yeah. You're 91 almost.
Yep.
And you are still moving. So I think at this point, to hear you and see you around St. Mary as often as I do, I just happen to run into you sometimes and you're out and about. What's the excuse for some of us young folks who have the mobility to move around? So.
Okay, the ability to move around is keep your brain working, okay? And keep your brain working, you keep your mouth working, okay? And you can't work your mouth if you're not moving around and seeing what's going on. And there's too much in life, okay? Everybody laughs at me because I'm terrible with computers. I don't like computers. I would take my typewriter back in a minute because I like talking to people. And I think that's one of the big things that we're missing. We're not talking to people. We don't know what's really going on, okay? And I don't think that you can sit in your house and watch TV or watch the news and really know what's going on in the world if you're not out and about. So everybody asks me, they say, are you on a special diet? No, I eat anything that I want to eat, okay? Do I exercise? Yeah, I walk a lot, okay? I run my mouth a lot. But bottom line is I'm out there and I'm seeing what's going on. And so when somebody gets upset with me, upset and says, I heard such and such, I said, well, that's not what I heard, okay? We used to have the newspaper, you know. We used to have more things on television that related to us that didn't have, I mean, you remember when we first had television, husband and wife slept in single beds, okay? You didn't see all this body language that you see now. And we're not used to it. So that's why we watch, GMT, the Western Channel. Most of it, that's what we watch. But the thing is, you got to keep going. You can't sit and feel sorry for yourself because nobody else is going to feel sorry for you. You're the only one that's going to feel sorry for yourself. And I remember when my grandmother used to tell me, the good Lord puts you down here to do something, so do it, and do it as long as you can. So that's what I'm doing.
Executive Director, St. Mary Council on Aging, Beverly Domengeaux, telling it like it is.
Thank you.
Well, the message is clear, folks. The seniors need us. This work doesn't just happen overnight. It doesn't just happen on its own. I've seen firsthand how much these centers mean to people. It's not just about food. It's about companionship. It's about dignity. It's about not being forgotten. So if you have seen this as a sign to get involved, well, then it's time to do so. I'm Danica Long with Parish Plug.